What's up, y'all? Sever the bond from Nets Republic. Hopefully I got the angle right. I feel like it's lower than it normally is. My hair is probably gone, but that's fine. I don't think there is an angle where all my hair gets on the shot. But that's not here nor there. Nets Republic, sever the bond. What we just did last night to Karis LeVert is unfortunately what we always do to Karis LeVert. And that is say, you did great things for us, but back to the basement with you and get back down to the basement. That is what we always do, whether he's on the Pacers or he's on the Cavs. Back to the basement with you. It's great to see him. Obviously, if he's able to be healthy for a long period of time, the things that he can do are incredible. I don't think anyone here loves Karis LeVert more than I do. And y'all have been here longer than me, and I love him more than y'all. Same thing with Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen is incredible, all-star, all that stuff. He didn't play, but even if he did, back to the basement with you. Like, you're incredible. We love you. We love everything you did. To the basement. Same thing we do with D'Lo. Same thing we do with Spencer. To the basement. Now, I hate Spencer, but to the basement. And I love these individuals. I love everything, especially the Bubble Nets, because I wasn't here for the D'Lo stuff, but the Bubble Nets have a special place in my heart. Like, 1,000%. But to the basement. I do that with Joe Harris, and he's on the team currently. To the basement. What we did last night is we went out there and we handled our business. And what we're starting to see is what we basically assumed would happen as long as no one got hurt, and one game left, fingers crossed, no one's going to get hurt. Just knock on Pinocchio, right? Like, we're seeing chemistry, something that we haven't had a chance to really get any of, which is something that last year I stand by didn't really matter because the offensive talent was so insane, but this year is a different type of story. Kyrie and Kevin Durant are getting a lot of games together now that the mandate has been lifted and stuff, which was really the Kyrie mandate, because I heard like Maxey or something like that for the 76ers is unvaccinated. That's a top tier player, and we don't, he's not getting destroyed for it, but that's neither here nor there. So let's call it the Kyrie mandate, but that's not here nor there. So now that has been lifted and such, everyone is able to be with each other. Everyone is able to get used to each other, and we know how to win games, and we know how to come together because everyone is around each other all the time, game to game, in the hotel rooms, practices, everything. There's no more restrictions. The only restrictions we have is Ben Simmons. And I'm going to have a Ben Simmons take at the end of this. What I need a lot of people to really take a moment and just take in is that having good chemistry is a dub in itself. I think that counts as this year's championship. We need to remove ourselves from championship or bust mentality. That's done. The second Harden left, that's done. And that's not me putting on the Harden cape, and I'm aware of how bad he's been playing, but that's done. When Ben Simmons comes back, based on how they're playing right now, the only real flaw here is we just need another taller defender out there, or someone that can make on-the-fly decisions and be the on-court coach. Ben Simmons fills that role. You don't want to have another forward out there because then that's taking away minutes from Bruce Brown, and we see what Bruce Brown does. Again, casuals don't understand what Bruce Brown does, but we know what Bruce Brown does. His ability to roam in the paint and get the floaters and the assists and all that, so all the stuff he's doing, he needs that type of space, right? To just go in and do all the stuff he does. I don't think Ben Simmons is going to alter that, to be quite honest with you. I think Ben Simmons is going to do everything he can to just get out the way. And if we've got a running partner of, you got Ben Simmons coming down, right? You got Bruce Brown right beside him type stuff, right? The lobs to Bruce are going to be nuts. And even if Ben Simmons knocks him out of the starting lineup and Bruce Brown goes to the bench, I'm very comfortable with a bench lineup of Patty Mills, Bruce Brown, Kessler Edwards, Claxton at 5, and I guess what? Who would be 4? Blake or Aldridge? Like, I'm here for that. And eventually, if Cam Thomas can crack the rotation again, like, I'm here for that. That doesn't bother me. That means when KD goes to the bench, we're still good. The only missing piece I see is Ben Simmons. Personally, that's the only missing piece I see. It's just Ben. Once Ben comes back, all the little holes in the Titanic have been plugged up. We're good. The Band-Aid effect is like we're good to go. But with Ben not out there, you've got obvious missing pieces, and the really great players, we're not going to have a chance of stopping them. Like, Blake is great, and I know we're saving him for the first round. Like, I get what we're doing now. I get it. Him and LaMarcus are being saved for the playoffs. Totally understand that. But I like Ben Simmons on Giannis more than Blake. No shot at Blake. Blake does a great job. You know I love Blake. I like Ben Simmons on Tatum, I guess? Yeah. On Tatum, right? I like the defensive combo of Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Is his name Jaylen? I don't know. More than, Blake and Bruce and then LaMarcus and stuff like that, right? I'm here for that. Joel Embiid is going to have a long night against Drummond as it is, so you have someone else out there that's just what is needed. So when that man comes back, we can go right back into championship or bust. But with him not out there, I really think we need to tone down our expectations and be a little bit more appreciative. I think it's just a matter of changing the mental framing. This is a very good team with probably the best player in the world right now. I say probably because some of these other dudes on the other team are going nuts. I don't really pay attention to the league like that, but other players are going crazy. So I'll say arguably because I can't make an argument against someone else. I only watch the Nets. So I'll say arguably, cool. KD's the best player in the world. KD's the best player in the league right now. So you've got that, and then you've got Kyrie, and then you've got just an onslaught of amazing other pieces, like your Seth Currys, your Drummonds, which we don't give Drummond, we don't give him enough credit for all the amazing things he's doing. When that man closes games over Claxton, it's Dub City. And that's no shot on Claxton. Claxton is a great backup center, but I think that's where we need to have him. Now, we can keep him and he develops, and if Drummond retires, let this man run the show. But for right now, great backup center, I'm here for that. Let that be the motion, right? I'm here for that. It's a great team. Kessler Edwards, it's a great looking team. We're also 1-0 without James Johnson being on the team. I just want to throw that out there, but that's not him there. Anyway, it's a good team. Is it enough to win a championship? Probably not. It would take Kevin just being the greatest player of all time, which I don't know if he is. I don't think he is. But if he is, then cool. If he's able to carry us to a championship this year through all of the shenanigans, I'm putting his name in the hat of greatest of all time. Because if he's able to carry us through all this by himself on his back, we really need to have a discussion. How we were having the Kawhi discussion a couple years ago, we need to have that conversation with KD if he's able to do this basically by himself. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think there's anything wrong with just being a really good team. Think back to all those other teams, right? You've got your Iverson 76ers, right? You had Iverson and a bunch of cool other dudes. Your Iguodalas, your Kyle Korvers, Eric Snow, all that stuff, right? Cool team, unstoppable player. They don't really do much in the postseason, but it's a good team. You got a game plan for that. You've got your mellow New York years, your Denver mellow years. The team won't win a championship, but they're really good. And hey now, right? You've got your OKC in the KD era, right? They're not going to win anything, but that's a really good team over there. Harden Rockets, they won't win anything, but good team. You see where I'm going? And there's nothing wrong with that, especially for Nets fans long term. The rebuild through the Sean Marks era has gradually gotten better each year, but isn't this better than being a basement team? And being in the elite conversation of like where Philly's been for the last couple years, or the Celtics every now and again, like they won't win, but they're really good and you can't sleep on them, right? There's nothing wrong with that. If people took us as seriously as people take the Miami Heat, like, we'll take it, right? No one thinks we're going to win anything, and I think you're on the sauce if you think we can, but we're still a respected team, and watching them get along and high-five each other, like, I feel like that's dope for this particular season. I think that's dope. Kyrie Irving's, like, shooting percentage and stuff like that. Like, if you're just looking at the box score, I can understand how you can have a narrative of, ever since Kyrie was a full-time player, it's not right. That's not the case. This man is just getting used to being incorporated with the team on a night-to-night basis. Because how we succeed, as much as I like to throw Steve Nash under the bus for it, and I think there's other ways we can go about this, but it's just how the team is, you know? There's nothing you and I can do about it. That's just how the team is. It's ISO KD. ISO KD, you got Kyrie in case other stuff, and then you've got a bunch of really good players around him. And that's just what the team is. You know, it's giving championship Cavs roster to me. You know, you got LeBron, ironically Kyrie, and then you've just got a bunch of really good players around him, right? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, and that's fine. I think Kyrie is just buying into the idea of what everyone wanted. KD's the first option. I'm here to help. I'm his best friend. We're running this together, but he's the best player on the team. Let me just help type stuff. Like when D Wade bought in with LeBron, like there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't equate to he's trash. When people try to use this thing of like ever since Kyrie's been full, that just tells me you don't watch the game. Honestly, that just tells me you don't watch the game. You read the box score on the crawl on ESPN or something like that while you were watching March Madness and you're making your take based on that. You did not watch the games. And when I say things like, it's just Kevin Durant, I mean because of our style of play. I am aware that there are other people on the team who are helping. It's just, when do they get the ball? And that's not on KD being a ball hog. That's a Steve Nash shot. Like that's just how Steve Nash runs the team, right? Seth Curry could definitely average more. We know Drummond could dominate, right? If you put Blake in there, you know what he's capable of. Bruce Brown almost had a triple-double. Like, we know what other individuals are capable of on this team. That's just how we run things, as long as Steve Nash is the coach, which, I mean, as much as I despise him, I'm starting to come around to, well, does it matter? Because the more games we play with him, that's the identity of the team. Do we want to break that up again? Another great example of this is like my views on Kyrie Irving and how we value him on our team. Off the court, done with mans. On the court, what more do we want Kyrie to do exactly? Like when he couldn't legally play, trade him. But now that he can play, I have no complaints on the court. Let him take 22 shots a game and only hit 5 of them. I don't care. As long as we win and he's playing defense, he's on the ground trying to get the loose balls, the 50-50 plays and all that stuff. He's getting assists. He understands if he's double, give the ball to KD, move the ball around. Like, I don't have an issue with that. Now, if we're doing all this and still losing, then okay, I've got something to say. But when it's successful, and he does other things that, again, don't show up in the box. Like, how many times was Kyrie on the ground fighting for the ball last night? Like, that is what we need. That's the type of stuff we need from the supporting cast. So it's like, now that he's available to play, and it's under a system that they all seem comfortable with now, maybe there's no sense in changing it. You know, I haven't slandered Kyrie in at least 2 weeks because it's just like, well, this is what we're stuck with, and I mean, it's not that bad. So maybe I'm not going to walk back my slander of Steve Nash, but the team has adapted to this trash. And if the team has adapted to trash and they're making it work, do we want to break that up and go into next year saying, oh, there's a new coach, there's a new system, there's a new scheme? I don't know. But the main point of this video I wanted to make is I just want everyone to just adjust their expectations. Because there's a very high chance we're playing Milwaukee in the first round. Because if we play the Cavs in the play-in on Tuesday, what do you think's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, we're currently the 7th seed. We're probably going to play the Cavs, assuming they don't fall off the face of the earth, which they play Milwaukee on Sunday, so I don't know what's going to happen to them. But especially if it's like the Hornets or the Cavs, we're not losing that game. The Hawks, God help us. God help us if we play the Hawks. But I don't think that's going to happen. So we're the 7th seed, and like the top 5 seeds are already set. That's probably Milwaukee in the first round. And if Ben Simmons isn't coming back, which I doubt he is, we ain't getting out of that alive. Now, it's very possible we could. If everyone is healthy, we're going in with LaMarcus, Blake, Claxton, Drummond, healthy KD, healthy Kyrie, Curry, Bruce Brown, Kessler Edwards. Like, if we're going in full strength minus Ben and Joe Harris, who I forget is on the team all the time. If we're going in with a healthy roster, just with no Joe Harris and no Ben Simmons, there's a chance. I just expect nothing. Call me a pessimist. I feel like that's just being realistic. Now, if it was the Heat, that's me smacking them around. Second round, come on now. But if we remain in 7th and we win the play-in game, which we probably will, unless it's the Hawks, because then y'all really got the Hawks messed up for how good they are, but that's not neither there. That's the Bucks in the first round. Now, if we were to get past Milwaukee, it's championship time. My thing is Milwaukee. We don't get past Milwaukee without Ben Simmons. It's possible we can, because just KD and Kyrie half the series and James Harden on one leg and Jeff Green got us to game 7 in overtime. So maybe the added addition of Drummond and all of them is the push we need to beat them. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. But that's the only team I'm scared of. Believe it or not, I'm not afraid of the Celtics. I don't care if Time Lord comes back. I'm not scared of the Celtics. Absolutely not. No. I'm not afraid of any team except for the Hawks, because just matchup-wise, it's just not a good look. Because who is stopping Trey? That's just not a good look. And it's not like it's a Giannis thing where you can let Giannis have 80, but you can still win. Trey's their point guard. Like, he's getting everyone involved. Oh, God, the Hawks are so frightening to me. And especially with how our team is constructed, I don't know if that's... We need Ben out there. Honestly. Ben Simmons couldn't get past him. Well, look who they had on the team. It was him and Embiid. I'll take our chances with Ben, Kyrie, and Kevin. I think we'll be fine. But as the team is constructed, I'm only afraid of the Hawks and Milwaukee. And there's a high chance we don't see Atlanta at all. But Milwaukee, I feel like at some point we would see them. That if we avoid them and someone else takes them out, or we get past them in the first round, then we can have another conversation of, is this championship or bust? But as the team currently is, I don't think there's anything wrong with just being happy, being a good team. When Ben comes back, it's a different story. But for right now, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a good team. And I'm okay with that. Beating up on the trash teams, being neck and neck with the decent teams, and then just not being good enough for the top tier teams is fine. Again, even in a world where we make it out of the East, right? And we just come up short in the finals against Phoenix or something like that, right? Isn't that okay? Like, are y'all not okay with that? I don't know where we got this championship. Harden's not here anymore. The team's different. Now, again, if Ben Simmons comes back, the team is perfect. Arguably better than when Harden was here because now there's a balance. But without Ben, if what we're looking at last night is just what the team is going into the playoffs, I'm fine with not winning a championship. I just want them to be good and compete and make some noise. And there's nothing wrong with that. Unless Ben comes back. And I know I'm like adding so many layers onto this, but I just want to make it clear like what my take is before we go into the playoffs and stuff just goes wild. If we do face Milwaukee in the first round and we get past Milwaukee, even without Ben Simmons, now you can introduce championship or bust because there is no one else in the East that's stopping us currently constructed. In a 7-game series, it's just not happening. My only concern is Milwaukee. But if we beat Milwaukee in the first round and like that's done, right? Like if we're the one that takes them out and then we just have 2 more rounds of good Eastern Conference teams, yeah, it's a wrap. Like, we're going to the finals, but see, it all depends on a lot of things. And I just want this energy to be set up because there's one more game. There's just one more game. And I doubt they're going to tank for it because we need them to have as much chemistry as possible. So with one more game left against the Pacers of all teams, I just want everyone to be aware of how I'm feeling going into this. Let me know down below where y'all are. Are y'all similar to me, or is everyone just championship or bust? Because I don't think that's healthy, but let me know down below. I'm not going to re-say the point again because this video is long enough, but let me know your thoughts down below. Send the bond. Follow me on Twitter. Nets Republic, link in description. Get you some merch. And I'll see y'all Sunday, 3 o'clock. I actually, for once, don't have to work on a weekend, so I will actually be watching it live for a change. So I'll see y'all Sunday night. Akaga, go get you some Jesus, and then come back for Demon Time. Can I say that on Nets Republic? I might have just got fired. I don't know. You'll see me somewhere on Sunday. Yeah.